to really kind of say a word that, I was trying to figure out where I should put it, but Toni Morrison, our beloved, had passed away, and I was looking for quotes that were relevant to the student population, and I found one that I think I just wanted to make sure that you all left with today as you've completed this program over the summer. Toni Morrison said, "I tell my students, when you get these jobs that you have been so brilliantly trained for, just remember that your real job is that if you are free, you need to free somebody else. If you have some power, then your job is to empower someone else." So my hope is that each one of you are able to pay this forward, the opportunity that you've been given today, and that you're able to use that with you as you move forward in your careers. Tonight, before we view our HBCU and LA student film, I have the honor and pleasure of introducing a remarkable woman, one of the most powerful women in American politics, and our no-nonsense auntie. Congresswoman Waters is in high demand all over the country, but she wanted to be here with you all tonight because she knows that you are the entertainment industry's movers and shakers of the future. For the past 29 years, Madam Chair has been a passionate representative to her constituents, a large part of whom reside in South Los Angeles. She serves as a member of the House Steering and Policy Committee, the Congressional Progressive Caucus, and the Congressional Black Caucus. There were a couple facts that I had that I'm not sure that you know. She's a friend of Nelson Mandela. She was a friend of Nelson Mandela. She also ran Jesse Jackson's presidential campaign. I didn't know that. During the past 2 years, she has become especially well known among younger generations as someone who is not afraid to stand up for equal representation, voting rights, justice, and equality for all. A fearless advocate for women, children, people of color, and the poor. The first woman and the first African American chair of the House Committee on Financial Services. California's 43rd Congressional District Representative. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the Honorable Maxine Waters.
Wow, what an introduction. Thank you very much, Tasha Millett, for that kind introduction and for your work at SAG-AFTRA. And of course, I would especially like to thank Stacy Milner for creating the HBCU in LA internship program and all it represents. I didn't know what I was going to be in for here this evening, but walking in this room with all of this energy, I'm ready to have a good time. Students gain indispensable experience by learning from and working with film, digital, media, and communication experts. Stacy had the vision and the determination to make all of this happen. And we all applaud you for your leadership in paving the way for so many Black students while also creating a pipeline to help diversify these industries. I would also like to thank SAG-AFTRA and the executives and other professionals who are here representing the world's premier studios, talent agencies, production companies, networks, and other entertainment and media leaders for your commitment to diversify. While diversity and inclusion are essential everywhere, and the faces of the people who tell them impact perceptions throughout society. Diversity in your industries affects diversity in all others. HBCUs are treasured in the African American community. For decades, many of us have fought to create programs that provide equal opportunity to people who traditionally did not have it. As a legislator in both California, in the California State Assembly, and in Congress, my toolkit has been legislation, and I created programs and policies that open doors of opportunity. As the chair of the Financial Services Committee, first woman and the first African American in this role. I insist on diversity and inclusion throughout the corporate sector, and I use the full power of government to advance that effort. I now have the gavel, and I intend to use it. Yet, regardless of how many doors we open and how many programs we create, success is ultimately measured by how many people walk through those doors, how well they perform, and their contribution to the evolution of the industry. This means that you, the HBCU students who have been learning the trade during these past 2 months, are the validation of our efforts. You are the metric that matters. Your learning and your dedication confirms the value of these programs and justifies their continuation, expansion, and replication in other industries. Your success will help you launch your careers and will also help launch the careers of others who follow you in these programs and others like it. I believe each of you will succeed, and I have faith in you. I'm convinced of this because I understand firsthand the challenges that many of you faced and your drive to reach your goals. I grew up poor, but my mother taught us that education was our ticket to a better life. And I took advantage of every educational opportunity that I could. After I moved to LA, I took charge of my future, earned a sociology degree at Cal State LA, worked for Head Start, got a job in LA City Councilman, and launched my political career. It wasn't easy, but I did it. The challenge was daunting, but I overcame it. The life I sought was elusive, but I grabbed it. In many aspects, I'm no different from each of you. I'm sure the road that you traveled hasn't been easy, but just as I achieved my goals, so will each of you. This is your time. Whether your goal is to become a producer, director, screenwriter, film editor, casting coordinator, actor, financier, budget manager, film studio attorney, art director, camera operator, or any other member of the team that brings content to the screen, be mindful that each of you stands on the shoulders of others who came before you. Remember that. The doors that were open to you should inspire you to open doors for others. So please never forget the outstretched arms that help lift you up, and in turn, stretch yours out to HBCU students and others who seek a hand by continuing the legacy of training, mentorship, and equal opportunity. We will achieve the vision of diversity and inclusion that we have been striving for and from which we all benefit. I don't want you to be diverted. Keep your eye on the prize. And remember, when anybody gets in your way, just do what your auntie did, reclaim your time.
Before we get into talking about the process, I want Stacy to just kind of talk about just the framework. I know you did a lot of that in your introduction, but maybe we can talk about how you and I, came together to actually add this production side and kind of share your vision for how you launched the internship program, but you had this dream for it to be this production side, and that dream came to life this year.
Tonight.
Yes, so you guys did hear the beginning story. I literally had written a book called How to Launch Your Entertainment Career, and I was going around to colleges all across the country on a national book tour, but when I ended up on the campuses of HBCUs, I would ask students like, what are the trades? And we'd talk about box office numbers and ratings, and they were like, huh? So I said, And so I had just finished a round of visits in Boston, and I'm on a plane coming back from Boston, and I said, you know what? If the industry is really serious about diversity, then I think what we're going to do what they've always done. We're going to go to college campuses and recruit that talent. So I went back, I pitched it, and actually one of our board members, Peter Campbell, who is sitting right there, was working at DreamWorks at the time, and I told him, and he said, come, we're going to set up a meeting the first of the year. So DreamWorks came on board, then all the other companies came on board. They said, when are you going? We'll go with you. But my vision in the very beginning was that I wanted it, my husband kept saying, and honey, you're somewhere back there. Thank you. There's no way you can do this by yourself, and that man is by my side every step of the way, so I appreciate you. 35 years, and I still love him. But at any rate, he would try to wrangle me in, right, and say, Stacy, you know, just do the college tour. And I said, yeah, but we could have students here in LA, we could do like a semester program, and we could do this, and we could do that. And he just listened to me, and then I got the bright idea after being on campuses, and I would see some of these students' creative talent, and I said, you know, we need to like create a project. So there he was again saying, no, Stacy, just do this. And lo and behold, here we are 2 years later, and Amir Dunstan, who is a student at Howard University, was, you know, I guess his mentor connected him to James, and he started telling James about the program. James like, I want to meet her, I want to talk to her, so we end up on the phone. I tell him what I'm doing, and he said, look, I want to help, but how can I want to do more than just come out and talk to the students. And I said, okay, and he said, have you thought about a project? And I'm like, oh my God, have I thought about a project? My husband keeps telling me to say no. Long story short, he gave me the model, and I said, James, I want to do it. And he was bold enough to follow me, and he was crazy busy, right? Having just received a record number of Emmy nominations with other things on his schedule, and he said, you know, I'm in. I'll get my crew, and here we are. So that's the background.
Wow, yeah. So coming off of 11 Daytime Emmy nominations, you know, myself and the Giants team, who a lot of them are here tonight, we kept getting asked when, you know, it's the next season coming out, and I haven't received the next season yet, right? And so I'm like, I don't know, but the Giants' impact continues through the work that we're doing on the ground through workshops and through seminars, and so this was in perfect alignment for what I wanted to do because Giants is really all about touching, you know, the hearts of men. And as an HBCU alum myself, this was it was a perfect setup. And so I want to say thank you to all of the Giants mentors who are in the building. So to give you guys some context, we did a series of workshops prior to actually doing this film. We had a writing workshop, we had a directing workshop, and we had a producing workshop before the students actually dove into production. And after our first writing workshop, we had the students pitch us a story. And so I think we have about 5 or 7 pitches, and of course the winning pitch was Troy. And then the Giants writers room chose this pitch because we were captivated, you know, by this story. And we also saw a project that was producible, you know, in 2 days. And so Troy, I want you to talk to us about why this story, why did you feel the need to tell it, and then kind of share the experience of working with the Giants writers to bring this idea to script.
Hi, everyone. Thank you guys for coming out. This story was basically born from kind of a number of different parts of like my personal experience. I am a black woman. I have a sister and a mother, also 2 brothers and a father, but you know. And so I also love sci-fi and fantasy and magic, and so this kind of just all came together in an effort for me to kind of culminate all of my interests into one. I've always seen myself bringing people of color and specifically like black women into spaces and genres that they're not typically seen in. And so kind of melding those two together with all of the fantasy and the magic was something that it was important for me to see. It was a story that was important for me to tell, showing Black women being vulnerable, delving into their personal relationships with each other, the importance of forgiveness, of family, of healing. These are all just, I don't know, things that are close to me in my experience. And so that was something that James and his team of writers were really able to help me put forth in the story that I was able to tell. And that was an incredible experience in itself. He sent me the text that they had picked the pitch on like a Monday, and they were like, okay, so first draft is due Sunday.
It was like
I was
a
like,
week.
okay. Yeah, so it was quick. I got that first draft out, and it was so different from the version that ended up coming out here today. And this is something that I'm really proud of, and I'm only able to say that because of the amount of time and effort that James and Vanessa and Jay really poured into me.
Christina, over there.
Oh yes, and Christina. There were hour-long Skypes and group FaceTimes up until 2 in the morning. Like, they really poured their all into teaching me and helping me craft this story, making sure that I had agency, but just providing me with all of their resources and all of their knowledge and all of their experience. And it was felt that they were really passionate about helping this story and what my message was, making sure that came across in the best way. And I really appreciate that, because if it was up to me in the first draft I had, I would be a little embarrassed. So, thank you guys.
And I think that's the beautiful thing is you get the lesson that writing is rewriting and rewriting and rewriting and rewriting, and it takes a community. And so now you know that once you get to LA, you have a community of writers that will support you and will read your drafts and will give you notes and will stay up until 2 a.m. on Skype calls to help you get to the shooting draft that you need. So from there, I want to say we had a shooting draft on a Tuesday, and we were shooting on a Saturday. And so we had a team of producers. Kaylin's in the front saying, yep. And I was like, all right, guys, we got a shooting draft. It's time to put this baby together. And we needed to cast. We needed to location scout. We needed to crew. We needed to put this entire project together in almost 4 days. So Jonathan, as a producer on the project, talk to us, man, about the grind, because you guys are working full-time jobs. You guys are working Monday through Friday for, 8, 9, 10 hours a day. And then once you're off work, you had to put this project together in 4 days.
Yeah, so actually, first of all, I'm not the only producer, so there are 5 producers, so I'm speaking on behalf of 5 other people. So Kaylin Herring, Amir Dunstan, also as well as Say and Kenya, so it's not just me. So, but aside from that, it wasn't just after work. So we were, I don't know if Tanisha in here still, so I don't want to get in trouble, but we would actually be at work and we'd be in a group chat just talking about trying to figure out what needs to get done up until shooting day, actually. So we were busy 24/7, 25/8 around the clock trying to figure out what it is that needs to get done. That picture that you all saw, that picture, I don't understand what we went through just to get that picture into that frame. But no, seriously though, before we shot that, we were on the way to Rite Aid, printing out pictures, me and Say, getting the frame just for that picture. So it's a lot that I learned, and I know a lot of us learned as well, because this is my first time being on a set. I had never been on a set for anything before, so to be on a set in this capacity, like I said, it's eye-opening, and it opens your eyes to so many things that you never thought would have came across in shooting a film. Like Kid said in his, it's so much that y'all showed us and taught us that it's crazy to believe.
It's amazing. So our directors, give it up for our directors. So we did not know that we were going to have 2 directors on this project, and the students had to interview for the job. And we chose Cole and Mia because they both brought different aspects that we felt would really bring this thing to life. And so Cole, I want you to kind of talk about the vision, that you had once you read the script, and how that vision translated from the page to the screen.
All right, so literally, I had read the script for the first time. I've read the synopsis and, I knew what the story was about, but I read the script for the first time in the meeting the same day within the last hour that I was supposed to interview. I read it, but the way I read, I jump back in parts, I see things differently. I read the script through 2 times, but just, I might have to go over lines a few times just to make sure I see it right. But basically, when formulating it into an actual vision, the first thought was, I think this story was about healing. I think that it's two sisters that have just been, distanced by multiple reasons, but I think that in all it comes together, and you understand that they're still sisters, they're still a family. The mother is gone, but they do get to see the last words with their mother, the last action that the mother does, try to reach out to them. But when formulating from the script to that, I thought Troy's script was golden already. It's just there may have been like one cut that we made, but I mean, it was great writing, but it's just like time. So.
Yeah, and you and Mia, you guys worked together really well. And I think the thing that Mia brought was the only student who came in with a shot list to the interview. And so she, And so she came in and she said, this is how I'll shoot it. This is my medium, this is my close-up, this is my wide, this is my establishing. So Mia, kind of talk about the experiences that you had prior to this project and how you were able to bring those experiences to this film.
I had no experience. That shot list, that was a last minute thing. That was a real, literally last minute thing. I wrote that while I was coming down the elevator to the interview. Yeah, but I was checking emails. They said they wanted a shot list. I was like, oh snap. Yeah, but the only reason I knew how to write a shot list was because of the school I went to. And I think that's why I love this program so much, is because there is potential out there in HBCUs, and this program was like, I really think this program was made for me, because although the students at the HBCUs have the potential and have the skills, they don't have the resources to actually come out here, and that's a really big thing. So this isn't just a program for jobs, this is a program for futures and lives. Yeah, but so far as experience-wise, when I was coming out here to LA, because this was my first time traveling, and it was my second time ever getting on a plane, and my first time ever actually coming out of state. And before I came here, I was told to give it my all, and that's kind of what I wanted to do. So I tried to give as much into the program and this project as much as possible. So although I didn't have very much experience, I was trying to figure out what do I have that I can give to this program. I took whatever I knew. I knew how to write. I believe I knew how to write a shot list. So I gave them the best type of shot list I could provide. For experiences, I did work a little bit with cameras in school, but I didn't really working behind the camera. Actually, figuring out how to like put in the SD card, setting up lights and stuff. I've done that. That's not for me. Takes too long. I was surprised that people got all that stuff up. Like, we shot this in like 2 days. I was surprised that everyone got it in time. Like, if James and Jay were not here, I'm not sure if this would have been finished.
But you guys did it. You guys did such an incredible job. And I know Jay's going to talk a bit more about just the experience of being mentors. But I want to jump to our actresses really quick. So, Ayo. This was a pretty heavy role. And I remember you telling us that you were really trying not to almost break down, at times because you connected so much to this character. Can you talk about how you prepared, for this role and why you feel like this role was perfect for you?
I think for me, well, first of all, it was having exceptional mentors such as yourself and Jay and Kelsey. Oh my goodness. Because I definitely, initially, there was a struggle to connect. And I think for me, what that struggle to connect was because the more I got into the script and the more I learned who Noelle was, the more I realized I was very similar. And there was a lot of trauma to unpack and a lot of, that had to come across on camera. And that meant being very vulnerable, which you touched on, Troy, which was very difficult. But I had so much support from all of you, and I just felt like, I'll be darned if I don't do my best. If everyone out here is just hustling and doing everything, like, I'm gonna do this. So, just to answer the first part. And then, Lord. Oh gosh, it was just, when I read the script, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a challenge, but I wanna do it. I wanna do it. And just kind of, Troy is my sweet mate and my sister and my lover in Christ. Love her so good. And just those long nights, how much work she put into it, how much she just said, I want to make this good. I was like, if I'm not doing this for me, I want to do it for you. Like, I want to make this what you want it to be. And it just, I don't know, that just drove me. You drove me, girl. You did.
And then I have to add, you had an incredible scene partner in Aishane, right? And so tell us, because you told me that you came from the theater world, right? And this was your first on-screen experience. So talk about how you were able to make that transition from the stage to the screen.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys so much for coming. It definitely was a challenge initially. They both go hand in hand, but some of the training that you receive being on stage does not always apply to on screen. And that's one thing that I had to learn. Like, I didn't have to, show too much emotion because the camera picks up literally everything. And, on stage, it's like you got to go full out, facial expressions on 10. And I was like, I don't have to do that for this. No, I don't. So I just, for me, it was just really initially just connecting with the character and making sure that foundation was solid and really just doing work with that. And then from that, just like with the training of, the mentors of you guys and having Cole and just giving me a certain direction, it kind of really helped me.
Awesome work, yeah. All right, Jay August. So Jay, you were a mentor throughout this entire process because you were in the writing workshop, you were in the directing workshop, and you were on set for 2 days working with our directors as the directing mentor. I want you to just talk to us rather, about the importance of industry veterans like yourself reaching back to the next generation of storytellers.
Well, this program was really a gift for me. because this is in alignment with my master purpose. I want to be a part of helping and bringing black talent into Hollywood. Most of my career, I've been the only black person for 300 paces, you know? So I've been on these sets and worked under those circumstances. And I don't want to work that way anymore, and I don't want the actors and directors coming after me to have to work that way either. I've always envisioned an opportunity where I could perhaps help other people see that there were a myriad of jobs involved in the entertainment industry, you know, so that everybody's not going for the big, everybody's going for the same thing. There's so many wonderful creative jobs that, you know, will help people, you know, build a career, be creative. And so I read somewhere that filmmaking is the only art form that requires massive amounts of money to practice, which is why a lot of people of color don't always get an opportunity. That's why I feel like this program was a gift for me, because I got to see, you know, two incredible people in Stacy and Ted Milner put this together and find the resources in order for young people to practice this craft, which they wouldn't have gotten a chance to do without the resources. You need access. You know, to be a filmmaker, you need resources, money, you need access, and you need a community. Man, they gave all three. I'm just so honored. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this. I couldn't appreciate you more. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you, James.
Oh, yeah, of
Thank
course.
you, James, for
Yeah.
asking me and us and making Giants a part of, you know, of giving back. Thank you.
So now I want to open it up to the audience. If you guys have any questions for any of our panelists, the floor is open.
Just a quick shout out. Who's our editor? Who's our editor?
Yes.
Where's the editor? Shout out.
Stacey, you want to talk about film?
Edward, right behind you.
Yeah.
Edward.
So when I tell you the industry came together and supported this program, from IATSE to Panavision, Endeavor Content, when they found out about the program, they're like, oh, we want to help with your project. And so Film 45, is that the crew back there? Lindsay, Carolyn, Edward. They provided us with the editor, assistant editor. They mentored our students. They worked with our students, explained to them the process. I mean, I couldn't be more grateful. I mean, you guys stepped up in so many ways. So our editors, so all the students who here were a part of post-production, where's your hands? They're all there. So those are our editors.
Hello, my name is Jade Hardy. I just graduated from Howard. Congratulations to all of you guys, my fellow, not just Howard graduates, but everybody up there. Great film. I was just wondering, where does the title come from? Is it UCHAWI? I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but what is that?
Yes, UCHAWI means black magic in Swahili.
Hi, I'm Annalie Okonkwo. I work at Warner Brothers with Cole, so he's one of our interns. We love Cole. How did you balance, working at WB and doing this role? 'Cause I can't even imagine how you did it.
Well, good question. So I'm currently an intern at Warner Brothers. This is my second summer with them. I'm in Global Insights and Analytics. So there I'm learning, the other side of the industry. But working a 9 to 6, it's been a little hectic. It was a week or two, and basically a week with no sleep. Working and having my, me and I having our hands in, multiple positions, working with the producers and the DP, Orion and Nia, the AC. So it was just a lot of work in general, but I think the way I was able to balance it is really, time box and use my time management skills I learned as a freshman playing college football. But also one thing that was pretty cool that I've been doing at work now is, and it kind of like led over somehow, I was able to share my love for wanting to make films and producing and editing. And now, Warner Brothers has me, editing. My department has me editing their videos to send in to other people, to other departments and executives. So it's bridging. It's bridging, and I'm still working on, I was in research last year. I'm still research this year. So I'm just building that wealth of knowledge before I take on more tasks like these.
Hello, everyone. I just want to say, first and foremost, I am so inspired by you all. My name is Aria Aaron. I'm actually a graduate of FAMU. Yes!
Violence in the house.
Sorry, we love our school. We love our school. But congratulations to you all for this opportunity. The question that I had is for the students, what is the greatest lesson that you're going to take from this program and carry with you, specifically into the fall as you go back to your campus communities and have the opportunity to give and to spread that around?
I think for me personally, it's to continue to give back and to pay it forward. Because like I was saying earlier, I have never been on a set, have never been a part of any production before, have never even seen anything like that before. And James and his team introduced us to something that it just changed our world, it changed our mind. Like, to understand how this stuff comes together now like I was saying, it's really crazy to us. Like, we sit around and we talk about it to this day, and it's like, I can't believe I'm on a panel right now at SAG-AFTRA for a film that I produced. Like, it's
working at SAG-AFTRA.
But now, for real though, we gotta give back. So it's not just us up here. So it's like this program's gonna go on forever. So it got to be the next year and the next year and the next year. But aside from that, it's 5 years, 10 years. So get it back to high schoolers and middle schoolers. Like, we gotta give back. And because of you opened our eyes to that even wider. So we appreciate you for that.
For me, I graduated from Howard in May, so I won't be going back. But thank you. But for me, the biggest lesson that I learned was that collaboration is everything. Art, especially film, is probably the most collaborative industry that I've ever been exposed to. And as an artist, it's like you have this sense of like ownership over what you do. But doing this process has shown me just how vital and essential it is to have people around you who support your process, who understand your process, understand where you're coming from, and who are there to see that succeed, because you cannot do this by yourself. I leaned on Io, I leaned on all of my suite mates. Say, Nia, Mia. I was sending them drafts like, can you guys please help me? I'm stuck. Like, can you guys tell me what you think about this? Can you guys give me your feedback on this line or this line? Using James and his team and his resources was essential to like this project that has my name on it, but genuinely, I could not have done it by myself. And so a community of people who look like me, people who come from similar places from where I come from, people who experience some of the same things that I experience, it's invaluable. And I can't imagine trying to go forward into this industry without a community like that, without having the means to collaborate with people like that. And so, like, I'm an alum, but that's something that is going to extend career-wise, personally, everything. Like, there's such a huge community of HBCU students, HBCU alumni. So it's just, for me, it's about continuing that spirit of welcoming any and all kinds of help, of network, of anything from people, because it really is a family. And that's what I've learned throughout this process, is that family is everything. And I can't do anything without y'all.
Hi, my name is Simone Slaughter. I work at BET in Unscripted series. We had the pleasure of being gifted with Kenya Cummings. And a previous semester, we had Taylor, who's around over there. So thank you guys. My question is, I had two, but I'm not going to take both of the last questions. But I wanted to ask Troy if you could speak on your journey as a writer, trying to fit so many stories into 8 minutes. So that's like a massive story. You told 3 different people's perspectives and having to like cut down pages and put that into 8 minutes. Talk about that challenge. And if it doesn't affect anything, just from the production side of things, I know that a lot of volunteer opportunities and a lot of good people went into making this work. I'm just curious if the team, if the students had a chance to look at the budget side of what it would have cost to make this happen without those volunteer efforts.
I don't know what to say other than that. It was very hard. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but I'm like long-winded. So in like everything I do. So writing, I was like, okay, like 12, 15 pages, like that's fine. Yeah, it was tough. It really comes down to just like making use of what you say, making every word count. And that's something that takes like years and years, I think, to hone as a skill. But like I said, I had a great team of mentors who were able to tell me like, when there were certain things I wanted to get across, they would be like, well, this can get across visually without you having to, have them go back and forth for 5 lines. Like there was a whole scene in the beginning and I was like, no, this is essential. And I was like, actually, like if you have them say 1 line and 1 line, like it's actually not. And I was like, you're right. Like I don't need 100 words. And so that was one of the biggest parts of learning too, is that like humans understand each other, and so you don't always have to spell things out for people because the emotion will be felt, the story will be felt. And a lot of that had to do with just what the directors did with it visually. The flashback devices were something that James brought in that really helped bring the story together cohesively without having to use so many words. So yeah, that's how that was done. And that's all I have to say.
And can I just say you handled that so well. We threw everything in the kitchen sink at her late at night on the Skype call all night, and you just handled it so well. And that's such a pivotal skill for working writers. So congratulations,
Thank you.
You killed it.
I think a lot of writers will tell you sometimes your success depends on your ability to take a note.
That's right.
And you were able to take many notes, from us. To, I guess, quickly try to answer that question. The students did have a producing workshop. We brought in CJ Faison and Takara Joseph, who were producers on Giants, but also Denise Davis, who's a producer on Insecure. And I know they talk budget, I wasn't there. I know a television and a film side, but also if we were to have to finance, if we didn't have all of these in-kind things, what this would have cost.
I think that we did get a good introduction to it, but because a lot of things were donated, I don't think we saw everything, you know what I mean? But what we were able to see, what we were able to do was enough. Like, it showed us, opened our doors to enough to see what we have to do. Like, producers are responsible for doing more than just putting things together. Like, there's so many small, tedious things in the budget that you have to worry about, like the picture frame or printing out a picture. Like, y'all just don't understand how important that picture was. Like, y'all really don't understand.
Now y'all don't understand because I was tough on the producers. And so there were times where they would send me things and I would say, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna fly. And the photo, because I knew how important the photo was to the story. And so I was like, we gotta get this photo right. The necklace was another thing. I was like, this necklace has to be right.
Also, Don's wife also helped us out a lot in getting stuff together with the costumes and things like that. So learning how to buy costumes, we had to buy costumes and props and, like you said, the necklace. Like, it's just so much small things that we learned. So even though we didn't learn everything, we were able to be introduced to enough. So we learned a lot.
And the thing that I do love, because filmmaking is an expensive, task, you guys now know what's possible. And not to get paralyzed by profit or paralyzed by budgets. And Giants is a testament of that. It was out of pocket, and we made it happen. And so I think the great thing about this program is you guys can now mount a production, and you may not have $10,000, $20,000 to shoot a short, but you know that you can get it done with the community, and I think that's even stronger sometimes than money. Yeah.
Do we have time for the last question?
We're going to take one more question.
Hi, my name is Nia, and I work at Warner Brothers with Annalie and Cole. And I wanted to know, being an artist myself, I know that sometimes the final product that I make does not really resemble my original idea. But I'm still satisfied with that sometimes, and sometimes I'm not satisfied with that. But I wanted to know if you guys had a similar experience and how you came to terms with that, and how you maybe tried to make it mirror your original idea more, or if you were just okay with what the final product was.
Yeah, when we were going over and editing, we did have ideas about what we would want to put in the film, but we knew that because of time and stuff, we had to take certain stuff out, and we realized that this was not exactly what we were imagining it to be in the beginning. So for you, I would say really focus on what you want to get across to your audience, and just really what do you want to tell? What's your story? What's the best way to get that out there to the audience with what you have? Your first idea may not be exactly the best idea at first, and you're going to go through revisions over and over again, and over time you'll get used to that. You'll get used to it.
I would say, just thinking back to your original thought process when you worked on it the first time, your original sympathy that you had with whatever your work is, and just knowing that everything that comes after that is going to be growth, not detrimental to it.
Yeah, there was a whole more than half of a scene that I found out was not included at one of the last editing sessions, and I was just like it's essential, we need it, why is it not there? But it wasn't, and so that it's a learning process as well. But you have to trust the people that you're around, and trust that your audience will trust in the message, because it's about what you're trying to say. And so that was for me, this script was very different from my original, not very different, but pretty different from my original pitch. But you have to trust that the opinions you're getting and the changes that are being made when you're working with people you trust, or even with yourself, it's going to make it better. It's all about growth, like you said.
Thank you, guys. Stacey, you want to?
So this is the end of our wonderful premiere. Wasn't it fantastic? I see so many familiar faces. I love it. Again, my congrats to you all. I am so proud of you. We are looking to do even bigger and better things with this program. This is just the start. We've just scratched the surface. I have to give thanks to ABC Entertainment and Freeform that came on board to underwrite the cost of this. The folks at Panavision, we're going to have to send them a shout video or something so we can let them know how much we appreciate that. I had an eye-opening experience when it came to budget. I was like, oh my God. James, can we do this? Can we do that? I'm like, I don't know. But at any rate, I got a whole lesson on insurance. I know you had to insure all this stuff that's on set. I'm like, what? So that wasn't anything to shake a stick at either. But anyway, so I'm just grateful to so many people. Film 45, you guys were amazing. You guys went the extra step. I think it was either Lindsay or Carolyn that kind of went to APM Music to help us get some licensing. I mean, thank you. And to all of you that are here, thank you so much for filling up this room and supporting these students. This has been the biggest, I mean, I am overwhelmed because what I wanted was for us to show up and to support them, because if we don't support them, who will? They're the future. We want to give them the support, and I am just so grateful. This little idea of going to HBCUs, I didn't know anything about HBCUs, I did not attend an HBCU, but I started doing my homework, and I started reading about the history and the legacy of these institutions, and I said, oh my goodness, like, we've gone to the USCs, the UCLAs of the world, and we've brought in top talent. So all I said to the industry, let's go back and do what you've been doing for years, and here we are today. And I'm telling you, we've got notables in this industry that this is proof in the pudding of what comes out of our HBCUs. And I am just honored that I get a chance to just pour into their lives a little bit. I will work nonstop to make a door open for these students. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. James. This guy over here, James, I appreciate you so much. I mean, you tirelessly work, and you were there every step of the way. I appreciate you, your entire team, all of our mentors, Toby, Inger, thank you for being, they were cast in our movie. So thank you so much. Our board members that are here, Judge Kevin Ross, I have to particularly shout you out because he has come on board and has been very hands-on. So we've got some plans coming up to allow the industry to help support some things that we're going to be doing, and so I'll be calling on you all. But please, support us, right? Because we cannot do this, for free. I'm housing 30 students in LA for the summer. That is no joke. But we have, gone to the industry and they have supported. But we need your support. I am so grateful for all of our industry partners that I see faces of that are here, that agreed to host our students for internships throughout the summer. So I could go on and on and on. My children, Elliot and Jamie, that are in the room somewhere. They try and tell their mother to rest, but and stay out of her phone. I was in Canada this weekend getting my hands slapped because I kept looking at the phone, but I was waiting for stuff. But you can't do things by yourself. So I appreciate everybody who's worked on this. If I've missed anybody, I'm trying to remember. But Congresswoman Waters came out. I was like, what? I was so excited, but it's great. But I know that it's important to her because a part of what she pushes to do is with this new role that she has, is to make sure that industry is having more people of color in executive ranks and on boards. And I told her, I said, we will never get there if we don't open the door at this entry level and put them on a pathway to actually be the future green lighters of this industry and in any industry, quite frankly. So I'm just honored. So thank you, thank you. Thank you. You're all done.